Hey guys, welcome back to Montana. I just got back from the mailbox and I got a couple of packages here. You know, I get emails occasionally from different providers, usually Chinese companies, saying, hey, we've got a product, you want to check it out. I decided to email a couple back. Wasn't too keen on some of them, but these are some LEDs for the Transit. The stock Transit bulbs are pretty weak. And I just upgraded to some LEDs off Amazon, which I'll link below, which are a lot better. They're a lot cleaner. 6,000K, so almost too blue, but not too blue. It's pretty clear at night. Maybe we'll get to see now that the sun's going down. But the problem with these is that when you do put on the lights, yeah, there you go. You get a low beam fault. You don't get a high beam fault, just a low beam fault. And that'll go away, or you can click it away. The problem with that is that's super annoying. I checked in the computer and there's no code, so it must just be some real-time voltage check that puts that on, or there's no code that sticks or was saved or anything like that. But it's this low beam, and I pulled it and put the stock bulb back in and no error. I swapped the bulbs. So just poor quality control, I guess, on one of the bulbs I have. So when Auxito or whatever reached out with some bulbs, I figured I'd give it a shot. I do want to put fogs on there, but I want to get nice brand name fogs as opposed to Chinese fogs on there. I mean, they're all probably made in China, but you know. So I must have been chatting with two reps. One rep sent me, I'll throw on the price now. These are supposed to be like really bright, $100 something bulbs. And then these are about the same price, a little bit less for both high beam and low beam. So let's check them out. So I'll throw in a bulb chart here. But these H11s are the low beams and the 9005 are the high beams. So either way, I'm going to have low beams and high beams, but I want to compare because these are more expensive. So these are supposed to be brighter. So I'll put one into these and one into these, and we'll swap out the highs and see how they are. The other bulbs that I got came with ballast. So these, I guess, maybe just have the ballast built in here with the fan. So that'll be interesting to see if that throws any errors. So immediately you can tell that there's looks like 6 diodes per side in here and only maybe 3 on here. And then we've definitely got a bigger fan. See, these guys have a little bit of a spacer on them. And these don't, but they look, you know, they look identical otherwise. So it's probably just the spacer and the connector. The video's not sponsored, but they did give them to me for free. And here I've got the Scope Park. These words, man, they need someone English for the first language to do their marketing. But Sealight, and I think I got some of these before in there, right? I'll throw the price down below. It was a kit for both, and I think it was half the price of these, of this kit. But I guess I'm paying for it. I mean, they work great other than that error. And then here's the stock bulbs. Bulbs are just so dim. I mean, it's going to be impossible to tell you really on the camera anyway. I'm telling you, without the brights, very dim, very shallow, not very far, almost dangerous. Without streetlights, you're not going to see much of anything, especially deer, wildlife. You know, we have stretches of road that are long, and you got someone coming the other way, and you got to turn your brights off, and you're not going to see deer on the side. So that's part of why I want to get some fog lights mounted on here. You might be able to squeeze your paw in here and get these caps off and the new lights in. But it's much easier just to take off these Torx, and you can even use a flathead in here. These 2 Torx bolts, and then just pull the light out. You just want to be careful you don't scratch your paint down here. Over here on the driver's side, there's definitely more room for your mitt to get in there, but it's still easier just to pull out the headlight. Got a T30 here. Don't need to go crazy. Don't want to destroy it. Now the bolts are out. I'm going to gently get this guy out. There we go. Has the whole harness on there, so you want to put something down. Just want to put something in between there just so you're not scratching the paint or the lens, hopefully. All right, so these rubber seals just pull off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stock bulbs back in just so we can see what they look like compared to the Sealight. Just come in here and twist it. Little quarter turns. These guys have like a ballast on them. These guys have the 3 LEDs. So it'd be interesting to compare the brightness and then have ballast on it. So I'm curious if the other ones are going to flicker or not. But you can see in there, there's that keyway. The bulb has the same keyway shape in there, so you put it in a quarter turn. It's only dusk right now, but let's give this a shot. That sun will go down quick. So obviously not installed. The camera's gonna be hard to tell, but just visually, this guy, much brighter output. Man, I would say 30 to 50% brighter on those Sealights than the stock ones. You can tell the stock just dim. It's hard to tell here. Maybe you can see better. On the truck, just dim. On the ground. On the ground. So there's the brights. And again, hard to say. Just these just feel brighter. All right, I'm gonna try not to burn my fingers to take out the halogen bulbs and compare.
Question.
What, baby?
Do you want burgers and fries, sloppy Joe, or tacos?
Burgers and fries.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
So I got a problem with these guys. These are 9005s, and they're not fitting in the housing. These are the lows. Again, impossible to tell, but the Auxitos look cleaner. The light is wider and just cleaner. This just has like a bluish haze to it. So already I like even the cheapo Auxitos over here for low beams. Let's see if I start the van, if it let me keep the highs on. Oh, no, I got a low beam fault. Key's got to be all the way on for that. Still got still have the Sealight high beams in there. So my head's been trying to keep all this together. But let's see. The Auxito high beams didn't fit, even though they're 9005 HB3s. They did not fit in the housing. It looks like it's smudging on this part of the housing is too big. All right, so we're getting around 19 millimeters here. Little variance. Stock is much smaller, but let's see what these are. These are 15 as well. These are 16. So I think whatever they're doing with these, whatever these 9005s are, they're just out of spec. I'm running the Sealight high beam with the spacer, and that's working. I'm still getting a low beam fault with the cheap guys. So let's try the more expensive guys on the passenger side. Got the more expensive low beam on this side. Again, the housings are kind of dirty. You can see that might be hard to tell, but the more expensive ones definitely seem to have more of a throw to them. You can hear the fan on this side. It's spinning up louder. And then you got this fan on this side. Definitely quieter. This fan, the expensive low beam are definitely louder. Got the more expensive low beams in on both sides. Let's see if that error goes away. Oh, it did. Here's what I look like getting blinded by the headlights. I'm gonna get this button back up and we'll take it for a little test drive. I am a little bummed about the high beams, but I think just by the price, I don't know that they're any better. Installation is just reverse of removal. So we got the headlight kind of slid back into the bracket, lined up, and we'll just gently get these guys back in. No fault for the low beam. Again, I'll take that as a win. There's the low beams, high beams. Let's take it for a ride. It's only 6 o'clock and it feels so late. I'm just not getting used to it this year for some reason. Oh, there we get it. Oh, got a low beam fault for a second. See if it comes back on a bump. Yeah, that's gonna be annoying. Well, if you like doing something once, you can always like doing it twice too. They seem clear, they seem fine. Super annoying, and the forward sound is super annoying. The lights aren't flickering at all from the bouncing, so I don't know what to make of that. To the brights. Brights are fine. I don't know if these are any better than the cheaper ones I had in there. The fault doesn't happen with the high beams on, so I guess it doesn't care about the voltage when the high beams are on. I mean, they're clean. It's definitely way better than stock. I just don't know that it's any better than that other brand that I had in there. And these are the supposedly pricier bulbs. I mean, I can't say that to the bumps anymore. I think these are just objectively worse, and I can't tell if it's one or the other. So I swapped the cheaper Auxitos back in. Low beams, I get the low beam fault right away. I'm gonna take it for another test drive and see if it happens again. Well, there's some interesting beam patterns going on now. I don't know if it's the cheaper bulbs or not. Maybe what it is for night. Okay, so the more expensive ones just threw errors on all the time. Problem. The high beams didn't fit, even though they're 9005. And the low beams fit, but I can't tell if it's just a poor beam pattern or not. So I might throw in one of the regular, I'm going to throw in one of the other low beams real quick and just see what happens. Well, I guess I'll film the outro now. So that was, I'm not going to say a complete waste of time because it bothered me that the low beams always threw that fault. And now I know that probably most cheap bulbs, you know, budget bulbs, are going to throw that error. I've got some Morimotos in my Silverado that there's another video on. That don't throw any errors. I mean, when I look on the computer, I can see that there's a low voltage message, but it doesn't throw an error light or anything. So maybe that's the way to go, is just to get expensive brand name bulbs to get rid of that error light. But to be honest, it doesn't really bother my wife that much. It just bothers me. It bothers my OCD to not have that light come on. So that's something we'll look at another time. It's real hard to show on camera, but the beam was all like blocky. It was almost like the LEDs weren't facing the right way, even though, you know, I put them in the right way. It's just a weird beam pattern out of these Auxitos. And you know, surprisingly, the Sealights, the beam pattern's about as clean as you can be out of the standard housings. Even the high-end ones, the high-ends were throwing codes constantly. And they didn't seem to be that any brighter. I think the only thing I liked for the Auxito is that the 6000K, what they all are, was cleaner as far as like color. It didn't look as blue. It almost looked like 1500K maybe, but the actual beam was not as clean. The color was nicer, but I can't keep it for color. I need to be able to see. Unfortunately, no go on the Auxito. Sealight staying in for now, and then we'll revisit when it comes time to put fog lights on. But in any event, guys, I'll put the headlights on. Let's put them on. The housings need to be cleaned for sure. There's bugs all over them. But in any event, guys, thanks for watching. Hope this helps you make a decision. Sometimes you just got to buy once, cry once, I guess, to get rid of the error light. So I'll put a link down below for the Sealights on Amazon. I'm not going to do the promo code for the other guys. I just don't want to give them my PayPal information. And so is what it is. Try them out if you want. But honestly, you know, like I said, they don't work for me. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. At least I got a video out of it. If you want to see more of whatever, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Until next time, may God bless you and keep standing up for what's right.